and you're putting her in the guest house?
Yeah.
Nobody puts Carrie in a guest house. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Nobody puts Carrie in a guest house. This is beneath Carrie Bradshaw. I'd rather Carrie be sleeping with Ryan Serhant. Like, what are we doing?
Welcome back, everybody.
We're happy you're here.
I can't believe we have made it to episode 3 already of And Just Like That, season 3. But here we are.
It's shocking.
It is shocking.
But you know what? It's a check is a check for these women, and I'm glad to support women.
Yes, we are supporting women. Also, this is one of those shows that it can be so bad, and yet I still want to spend time with these characters that I've spent the last 2 to 3 decades of my life with.
Absolutely.
So, like, even when it's bad, it feels like hanging out with friends. So this is called Carrie, Go Lightly. Obviously, that is a reference to, what is it, Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Which makes sense. The Holly Golightly and Carrie Bradshaw comparison is very similar in a lot of ways. Obviously, Carrie's a lot more evolved than Holly, but the similar thing of being this sort of not quite manic pixie dream girl, but this woman that feels so ephemeral to New York and, you know, is so flighty and somehow has like these designer gowns and everything and is able to just sort of thrive in New York with question mark points, but is also a woman of New York.
She's quintessential. She lives alone in New York. Everything seems to always work out for her. Right off the bat, Carrie is in a Zoom meeting with her editor. I love the actress who plays this character. I think she does a great job. Carrie is informing her that she has been working on some nonfiction. And this is very timely. Her editor, book agent, whoever this person is like, you know, romantasy is really hot right now.
Are you into romantasy? Are you reading?
I don't know if I'm into romantasy because I haven't read any yet. I bought A Court of Thorns and Roses, ACOTAR, on audiobook, and then I started listening, and, like, I just couldn't do it.
I know. It's, I respect. I have a lot of friends in my life who read romantasy. I respect
Same.
all of them, but I don't know that it's for me, but I'm open.
Anything that, like, dragons are gonna appear, like, it
Sure.
took me a while to, like, find an interest. That being said, I do love a spicy read, so
I just had the thought, I was like, are the dragons having sex in these books?
I think the creatures are involved in the sex, yes. I think the cryptids have sexual organs and
Okay.
either have sex with each other or the humans. There is sex of a non-human way.
Okay. You know, I just
think.
haven't thought about the logistics before, and it's just, you know, I'm glad, I know in fiction I'm supposed to let it consume me, but it's just, it's hard to put together in my head.
So for the next 45 minutes, we will be talking about the logistics of sex with a minotaur. So
That's why you came here.
Amanda, the editor, book agent, is like, what about sex in the cauldron? Fun little joke. Carrie's like, no, thank you. And as we know, Carrie has sex in her bra, so, like, she doesn't need to be writing romantasy.
And also, Sex in the Cauldron is a nice little Easter egg for Sarah Jessica Parker having been in Hocus Pocus.
That is a really good point that I didn't even think of. Love that. Love that. So, book agent is like, there are these press opportunities, this one with Google and this, like, one with South by Southwest. And then she's like, and then this, like, shitty little thing in Virginia. And Carrie's like, excuse me?
Have you been to Williamsburg, Virginia?
No, I have not.
Okay, Williamsburg, Virginia is where my acting bug was bit. It is the home of Busch Gardens, which is, yes a theme park that is made by Budweiser. You can go see the horses in the stable. There's a ride called the Big Bad Wolf, but there was like a kid's show thing you could walk up to. And my mom was always like, this is where your acting bug was bent. But it's a town of just people dressed, actors dressed as colonial figures.
Yes,
I did
Colonial
summer
Williamsburg.
Camp. Yeah, Colonial Williamsburg. I did summer, like I worked at a summer camp there for multiple summers in Williamsburg. This is not where Carrie Bradshaw should be. Like, that's all this to say is it is like the Wisconsin Dells of the revolution. Like, I just can't think of a place less where I want Carrie to be. Yes, this is a fish out of water. We're referencing a Sex in the Country from season 4.
Yes.
But I don't want Carrie in Williamsburg.
Carrie is once again, she's single and she's once again being the dumbest bitch alive.
It's crazy. Like, this is worse than season 2, Carrie.
Yeah.
Like everyone has been memeing on the internet the beret and the McDonald's at the door and using that as a meme. This is worse than that. I'd rather have beret Carrie at the door. This is worse.
Le French fry. My apology for being le bitch. Yeah, she's just being dumb again. Like, there are these 2 great press opportunities, and she's like, what about the one that takes me closer to my long-distance boyfriend who's being negligent? Like, why? That's dumb for your career. It's dumb for your relationship. I'm sick of your shit, Carrie.
She could be getting a tech billionaire at Google. Like, we could be elevating ourselves. Nothing can tell me that Aiden's dick is that good. There is no... his dick is not that good. No way.
I mean, I said it in a previous episode. I'm sure I will say it again. The man has always given me the ick. Anytime he tries to do anything remotely sexual, I'm like, ugh, no.
Absolutely not.
Carrie is now reporting the fact that she's a dumb, stupid bitch to all of her friends at Anthony's soft opening of the Hot Fellas Bakery. And what I truly take issue with here is that she's like, putting on this whole, like, easy breezy, so casual, whatever. And, like, just last episode when Sema was saying that about her, she was like, no, I'm not. I'm not like that. And now she's, like, doing this whole little dance of, like, it's no big deal. But we must point out, though, that this top is the top that she wears while meeting Wade Adams, a.k.a. Power Lad, a.k.a. the guy who moved into her old shoe repair place and opened up a comic book store.
I mean, bring back Lad. I would love to see Lad. Now that weed is legal, I want Lad on And Just Like That.
Oh, you know he works at a dispensary. And he
or
probably
owns one.
I don't know. He wasn't that ambitious. That was kind of his whole thing. That is one of my number 1 all-time favorite episodes of Sex and the City, though. It's Hot Child in the City. I love that episode.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so fun to see this shirt, and then they gave this shirt nothing to do.
It sat in an empty bakery. More and more by the day, I keep thinking Hot Fellas is a front.
For what?
I don't know what it's a front for.
Definitely seems like the type of business, and I know that And Just Like That had like a Hot Fellas, or is about to have a Hot Fellas event in New York City. I don't know, it just doesn't feel very current.
No. It feels like something like maybe in Vegas or a bachelorette town, like Nashville. Yes. This would do well in Nashville. New York, this is not it's not a gimmick town.
Or go to Colonial Williamsburg and like
get the hot men hammering some horseshoes.
Anthony is once again being completely inappropriate and is working on getting a lawsuit filed against him
any day now.
Telling the hot fellas to shove a baguette down their pants to, you know, work their junk in order to sell bread. And of course, Carrie is looking for a friend to accompany her to Williamsburg. And this is another fucking thing that pissed me off because Charlotte goes, oh, that'll look like, you know, you're not trying to stay over because you brought a friend with you. And Carrie's like, yes, exactly. And I'm like, you guys are 55 fucking years old. Your husband died.
In a many-year marriage, and here we are grasping at straws.
Playing the same, like, stupid mind games that we played in the original series. And again, it's more fun for us because we get to scream about this now.
Sure.
You know, emotionally healthy Carrie is not as fun to talk about.
No.
Then we get... This really surprised me because I was just like, what are we doing here? We have Rosemary DeWitt playing Aiden's ex-wife, Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
And she is calling to ask Carrie if she could bring some Adderall to Virginia for Wyatt. Carrie was all panicked. She thought that, like, Kathy was going to say, like, stay away from my kids. And she's like, no, can you bring Adderall?
Also... Is Wyatt in therapy? Does he have a I just am what are we doing with this kid?
We never hear from Wyatt.
It makes you think of, do you remember that movie, We Need to Talk About Kevin?
Yes.
We need to talk about Wyatt.
We need to talk about Wyatt.
Wyatt.
So they're addressing the nationwide Adderall shortage because they were
Mhm.
like, we need to pick some current issue to stay relevant.
And this is the one.
And this is the one. And this delighted me. Charlotte does an Upper East Side rich mom drug deal. And it is such a satisfying scene because these are the moments where we see like Samantha's influence on Charlotte, because she just calmly takes the phone from Carrie, walks over and is like totally in control and like totally capable and totally badass and like resolves the situation. And it's very funny and very satisfying. I know that there is an actual nationwide Adderall shortage. I find it both upsetting and entertaining that this is probably actually happening.
Yeah, again, this is another cut article if we haven't already had it. Like the drug trade, the drug mules of the Upper West and East Side and how they're getting their Adderall. It is funny. It made me think also, because I think we see like a little bit of Charlotte having this edge in last week's episode when the Scooby-Doo stuff began.
Yes.
So this is another Scooby-Doo, the case of the missing Adderall, and Charlotte located it with ease. I'm really enjoying the fun that they're having with Charlotte's character.
We're back with the documentary and Lisa Todd, and I was thinking about this. In no episode of the original series would one character's creative project take up this much episode real estate.
No. I know. And it also the fact that we find out she's been working on this for 8 years, and like, you know, all blessings and love. We are both creative people.
Yeah.
But at some point, 8 years, where's the funding coming from? I'm supposed to still be invested in it at this point.
Right, which is a good segue. Grace here, who's a character that they added in order for this plot line to have more legs. LTW's editor, who after 8 loyal years is like, Steve McQueen just called me and offered me a job. Like, obviously I'm going to take it. And LTW's response sucks. She's really rude to her. I screenshotted this specific moment because as to women who do not have children and whose creative projects are very important to them, I really appreciated that this character like very calmly held her ground and was like, my work is super important to me, so like you're not going to tell me that I can't go do this. Now we are back in Charlotte's world, and all of her coworkers are violently hungover because they are in the middle of TFAF, which I looked up. It is real. Unlike
that one's real?
Unlike the Conference for Compassion for the Unhoused. TFAF is real, the European Fine Art Fair, and her coworkers are all stupid hungover because they went to the after party and the after party. They sold some stuff, so it was like worth hanging around, and Charlotte feels very left out. Now we are heading to Little Shoe in her hat box because Miranda is helping Carrie assemble a cat condo for Shoe. And this whole angle of Carrie surprises me because she was not anti having children. And there was the whole like conversation with Alexander Petrovsky about like whether or not she wanted kids. So I never thought she was anti-kid, but it's interesting to see Carrie have sort of like a maternal thing going on so much that she would like alter the interior design of her home with a very large cat condo.
And also, I want to say Miranda was shaming her for it, and I would like to remember Fatty.
Fatty!
Remember your cat, Miranda?
No respect for Fatty.
No respect for Fatty.
Fatty got you through a lot, Miranda, okay? Fatty was a
didn't eat your face off.
No, Fatty did not eat your face off. When you fell and threw out your back and you were lying on the floor, Fatty did not eat your face off.
Yeah, so I'd like to put some respect on Fatty's name. Except you need the cat, Fatty.
So, yeah, they're assembling the cat condo, and Carrie is making the point that she helped Miranda assemble a lot of shit for Brady, so she can't complain. And then Carrie is once again being the dumbest bitch on earth. She decides that part of her easy breezy, casual, I'm going to go all the way to Virginia just to have lunch with Aiden, is she's gonna ceremoniously present him with a key to their home.
Is Aiden on the mortgage at all? What is his financial?
I have questions. Is he on the paperwork? Because once again, like I said in a previous episode, we are doing a lot of talking about our home and we. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Aiden is not really using that language, and he doesn't already have a key.
The actions are not matching the verbiage.
No. And Miranda does like poke fun at Carrie about this. And this was interesting because I thought we were going down the road of like Carrie and Miranda maybe having a fight similar to their big thrift store blowout in the original series. And then they just sort of resolved it maturely, which good for them. I have to give the show props for like healthy female friendship. We love that. Now we move on to family dinner at Charlotte and Harry's, and I just love the fact that Anthony and Giuseppe are like staples of the family environment. There wasn't a lot going on in the scene. Charlotte, feels left out. Harry's like, we're old. Everybody at the law office also thinks I'm old. Anthony thinks that the only way Hot Fellas is going to be successful is if Giuseppe waves his large dong around so people will buy bread.
Like, that man is objectified left, right, and center. He can't have any peace. Also, I need to comment on Rock's top in this scene. The sailor-looking top, it made me think, is Rock obsessed with Patti LuPone's Anything Goes performance? I don't know where this top came from. It's... I don't know what 15-year-old is wearing this outside of a dance performance.
It's a bold nautical choice. Nautical choice. Speaking of bold fashion choices, Giuseppe's shirt, I just want to focus on for a second, because that is the kind of shirt that looks incredible on him, but on the wrong person would look absolutely awful.
Like Harry, maybe.
Yeah.
Harry's club clothes that we keep talking about.
Elliot is back. Thank God.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Okay. Well, and adding to his lore is that apparently he's 90.
I shot up out of my couch when this line was delivered.
I don't understand. Like, are they serious? Is he actually supposed to be 90? I'm gay. A gay 90 is a straight 70. I mean, I do kind of believe that. Gay men do take excellent care of themselves.
For sure. You know what? I was thinking about it. It makes me think of Dick Van Dyke's bank character in Mary Poppins. Like, the vibe of that where it's like, this is not a real person.
Oh my God. That is so astute. It is unreal, Caroline. Yes. Dick Van Dyke's bank guy. Oh my God. Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. But we love Elliot. Yeah, so apparently he's 90 years old and is therefore planning to retire. And despite the fact that he and Sema seem to have a very close relationship, he has decided not to tell her anything and to instead sell all of his shares in the company to this fucking guy.
Okay, so Ryan Serhant, another thing I yelped at 30 seconds later. So Ryan Serhant is a real person who has been on Bravo for many years in a show called $1 Million Listing. He's a real estate agent. He now split from Bravo and is on Netflix with a show called Owning Manhattan about his now firm that he's building.
This is a real person?
This is a very real person.
I would never have known that if it weren't for you. And the fact that they have a man who, I'm not saying I know everything in culture, I don't, but a man who, like, the joke is supposed to be that he's a real person, and I've sat here the whole time being like, I don't know who the fuck this guy, like, no idea. That's funny also because they have him kind of as, like, the villain here, so, like, it does feel like maybe it's obviously cross promo. It's good promotion for his new show, I'm assuming, but interesting. He seems like a real piece of shit, but, like, that's what the character is,
Yeah,
I guess.
I do hate to say I am very attracted to him on Owning Manhattan. I don't know why, what it is. The vibe of how they set up that show is very Succession heavy, because the intro scene, he has this big speech where he's like, we're going to be the biggest real estate firm in New York, blah, 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 and does this whole thing with all of the agents. And it's very Kindle coded. I don't know. I'm kind of...
No, I get it. Moving on to a scene that I wish was like 20 times longer.
I know.
Harry and Carrie go shopping, trying on pants. I could have done with like an entire like montage, like some music blasting. I want him trying on different looks. I want Carrie giving feedback, and we got about 30 seconds.
He was so happy to be one of the girls.
And then that scene ends very quickly. And Sema has decided that she needs to take a few days off to deal with the fact that she's possibly changing her entire career path because her partner is going away, and real human being Ryan Serhant is now going to be
over
in charge of the company. But Sema has decided that she is going to accompany Carrie to Virginia to figure some stuff out. Nice little girls road trip. And of course, Sema has a moment when she pulls up in her car to pick up Carrie with Adam, the gardener. It was a very, very, very brief scene, and the flirtation was very, very heavy. Just curious, what are your thoughts? Like, where do you think that this is going? Because I thought we were setting up Adam to be a Carrie love interest, and this interaction made me think he's a Sema love interest.
Maybe he's both. It's 2025. Maybe we're setting it up that Carrie and Sema are open and they're both dating Adam, New York's Plant Picasso.
Carrie would have an absolute panic attack if she were invited into a threesome.
She would exit immediately.
Oh, and then of course we get the titular moment. Carrie breezes down the stairs being like, I've got my one dress, my one sweater, and some lipstick in my bag, and I don't give a fuck at all what's about to happen to me or my relationship.
I'm easy breezy, cover girl.
Easy breezy. And Sema, of course, calls her Carrie Golightly because she is traveling light. Okay, they get to the airport, and Carrie has absolutely no chill about this, like, very benign drug deal that she is participating in, which honestly reminds me of myself every time I, like, take edibles to the airport. I'm always like, oh my God. It's like, nobody fucking cares. Absolutely nobody cares.
No, unless you're taking like 10 pounds of weed and it's like grass, no one cares.
Like actual flour. Yeah, so she's like, oh my God, I have Adderall on my boobs. And I love that Sema is able to like put Carrie in her place, like gently but firmly, and is like, TSA is not doing chemistry. Like, nobody gives a fuck if you have Adderall in your bra.
No.
Carrie and Sema, they're in Virginia. They are at their lovely hotel enjoying a meal, and Sema has decided that she is going to go off on her own, start her own real estate business. And then we get this delightful character. I want to say his name was Mike.
It was Mike. Yeah.
Mike. Absolutely just the cutest little cutie who was ever cute. Love him. And this was like a moment that I just had to highlight.
And it made me really nervous about their representation of the South when we met him, because it was so cartoony and like, this is what people think of the South. And I think as someone from the South, it makes me nervous when I see this, because it makes me realize you've never been to the South. We're continuing to perpetuate stereotypes of like what people assume the South is. And there's so many more layers to it. And there are lots of people like Mike, but like it just felt so very cartoony.
I don't disagree. I mean, like, this is like classic Sex in the City, though. Anytime they leave Manhattan, they treat whatever location they're in, whether it be LA or the country or Virginia, as if they are on another planet and a subpar planet, because like nothing can compare to Manhattan.
No.
And like, no offense, but, like, there's a lot of places in the world that are amazing. Relax.
Yeah.
But I did love this moment. Cassandra, I have told you a million times, you have to print out the new ones, the new menus. I love, like, a fussy boss. Like, it's very Courtney Take Your Break from Legally Blonde.
Yes.
Okay, now Miranda is finally on a date with Joy. And I gotta say, I'm vibing with this relationship. I like this.
Yeah. They're not forcing it on us. It feels very organic. The opposite of Che Diaz, the artist formerly known as Che Diaz. And it feels like we're getting a nice build to it, and it's not rushed. And I really like the patience of it.
Yeah, and I think like Miranda's relationship with Che was very, especially initially, like very much focused on sex. I mean, like the third time they ever spent time together, like they ended up having sex. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but like it was just such a huge focus of that relationship. And like
Totally.
I like that this is a slower build. They have insanely good chemistry and repartee, like both as actors and also like these two people, like they got good chemistry.
They do.
So I really enjoyed this scene. Also, Joy has such a like beautiful speaking voice. Like it's a very intoxicating speaking voice. She's teaching Miranda how to breathe from her diaphragm. She's giving her a little public speaking lesson, but in like a sexy way. Okay. Charlotte and Harry go out and they are trying to like stay up late and be out and do fun things and prove that they're not old and they can hang. Harry's got his new jeans on. Like so many before him, he has trouble in the bathroom with the button fly. He really has to go because he's knocked back some drinks. And button fly jeans are so cruel. They're so cruel, especially when they're brand new. Like, it's impossible.
Jeans are already so much work, and to add buttons to it is just adding, pain to it all. I have to say, I did think before he said he pissed himself, as we're about to say, I was like, did he button something himself, like his penis in the buttons? Like, I couldn't tell what happened.
I don't know. It just made me feel sad to see Harry, like, have like a bathroom accident. Like it's just so embarrassing.
I know. Like we love our Harry so much. And also a man who used to be so cool and confident sitting around Charlotte's Park Avenue apartment naked. Yeah. To see him struggle so much in jeans just tells us this man is a nudist. He doesn't need clothes.
He doesn't. Pants have never been for Harry. As soon as he was given the freedom to be himself in Charlotte's apartment, he was ass out singing Mac the Knife. Okay, now we have an iconic moment of female friendship, lying in bed, eating some food, asking each other if you're just being fucking stupid.
And it's two dumb bitches going back and forth going, yes, exactly.
Yes, you were just gassing each other up and being like, yep, you're fine. You're making all the right choices. Don't even worry about it.
You're doing great.
You're doing great. I do love the callback of KFC because...
Yes.
Sex and the City fans will remember the infamous moment that Aiden ate a whole bucket of KFC in his tighty whities and Carrie came home ready to fuck, and he was like, rub my belly.
And now I'm being haunted. Like, I feel like that's an image I put in the back of my brain, and now thinking about John Corbett and those tidy whities. But I mean, looking like an adult baby. Yeah. So Carrie and Sema are eating fried chicken in bed, bouncing off each other. Sema's like, should I take this new career move and go out on my own? Which is like a real problem. And then, of course, Carrie comes in and is like, why didn't Aiden ask me to stay over? I really like Sema's character because she's able to say to Carrie, like, didn't you kind of make it seem like this is what you wanted? That, like, you were just breezing in and out? You've been doing this whole, like, weird little I'm so chill performance. Right.
And Carrie was like, fair. Okay, now...
Yes! Let's go!
Let's fucking go. Okay, so now Charlotte, released from the weight of Harry and his pee-pee pants. I was like very concerned that they were going to make Harry stay around in his pee pants. I'm glad we let him go home.
Yeah.
But Charlotte is still out. She is having a time. She is drunk. And true fans will know what this reminded me of. And it is this scene from Where There's Smoke from the original series when Charlotte is so drunk and is singing doctor's orders to herself, eyes closed on the dance floor.
I mean, the fact that she was drinking an espresso martini at 2 a.m.,
I know.
A death knell. Like, no.
A death knell.
I can't imagine drinking an espresso martini after 3 p.m.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But our girl powered through it. I felt alive. It felt like what I imagined when my friends see the clips after, like, the Marvel movie, and they, like, freak out because they see Samuel L. Jackson. Seeing Charlotte drunk like this, like, was a jolt to the system, and, like, it was like, we got her, baby!
Correct. This is the equivalent of, like, if Sean Connery ever does James Bond and, like, every heterosexual man is gonna just, like, jizz in their pants. I was thrilled because she does the same dance. Like, she's doing the same, like, drunk Charlotte dance. It's like Kristen Davis is very consistent in her portrayal of drunk Charlotte. And I do feel like they have her in a tube top on purpose because she was in a tube top in this scene. Yeah. Like, she even has her glass in the same hand. Like, I feel like it was a very, very deliberate callback, and it made me very, very happy. As the night does when you are staying out past 3 a.m., things have taken a horrible turn.
Correct.
And what is this guy's name? Rolf? Who her coworker had a little crush on and asked Charlotte to, like, talk her up. Charlotte is trying to sell this man a painting, and she is also trying to sell this man on hooking up with her coworker.
Correct.
And he misreads all of it because he just snorted 1,000 rails of cocaine. And goes in to kiss Charlotte, and she's like, what the hell are you doing? I don't have a whole lot else to say about that.
I mean, it felt like such a nice, like, this is what would happen to Charlotte selling art in her 50s and, like, having the wires get crossed as a woman who's been married 2 decades, probably at least at this point. Yeah. So it felt like a very natural plot line of, like, miscommunication to happen.
Yeah, and also, like, you know, in the beginning of the episode, Charlotte is so concerned that she's, like, getting left out and feeling like she's not a part of things, and she's missing opportunities at work because she, like, can't hang. And this sort of just reminds me of, like, you know, we're in our mid-30s. 35. We're in our
Until
mid-30s.
next week. You're in the 30s. You're welcome to my box now.
Honey, welcome to my box. As a 35-year-old, I have had this wake-up call many, many times where I'm just like, am I not fun anymore? Am I not being social enough? And then I go out for one night and I stay out past midnight. And I'm like, never again. I hate it. I'm not having a good time.
Something has changed within me.
I can't stay up past
10.
Okay, back to the documentary. Okay, so we're back to the documentary. You pointed out that the title of this documentary series is The First But Not the Last. And what did you say about the font?
The font, it's giving 24 in Paradise on Hulu. Very end-of-the-world font, but we're using this to talk about Black women in history.
Yes.
And maybe also think of Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. Like, if you're watching it just like that, look at their phones and look at the computers, because something unhinged, they've, like, sort of put on there that they think no one is going to notice, but it's a crazy detail that I think we have to, you know, pay homage to.
I think what we're really talking about is laziness. Like,
yeah.
Like, whatever is on their screens was, like, the laziest solution that they could think of. They were like, we've spent millions upon millions of dollars on the costuming, so, like, I don't know, just throw anything on Carrie's phone screen. Who cares?
That, and also, okay, I'm now sort of having this realization in real time. 2 different things. One, maybe they think their audience is of a certain age and they're watching, like, they have to wear readers. So they're not looking super closely. But also, do they think everyone is watching this while on their phone? So they're only looking up at certain moments, so they don't think anyone's paying attention to the details.
I mean, I think all of this is true. And the thing is, if you and I weren't doing this podcast, baby, I would be playing solitaire all episode.
I know. Not taking notes extensively.
All right. Now they try to rent a car, Sema and Carrie, to drive to Norfolk. Am I saying that right? Norfolk?
Yeah. It's like Norfolk. It's
Norfolk.
like how you say. Yeah. I said it's like Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk. So
It sounds like Norfolk, but it's like Norfolk.
Got it. Well, maybe with Carrie there, it'll be
Norfucking.
fucking in your bra. Okay. I'm not gonna lay up. So I love this moment with the woman at the rental car place where she's like, your license has been expired for 8 years. How does this even possible? Of course Carrie's license has been expired for 8 years because, like, why don't you have a current license? Like, you need one. Like, you need to be able to, like, I don't know, rent a car, vote.
Okay.
Has Carrie not been voting?
Well, I think we figured she registered to vote in season 3. We talked about this because of the mayor.
Yes.
But you don't, in New York, I don't think you need your license to vote. But I will say, in Carrie's defense, she's a metro girl. She's not driving. We've seen her try to drive. That's not happening. And she said she used her passport to get on a plane. She doesn't have time to wait around to get her real ID. I barely had time to get my real ID.
I still haven't done it. So, all right. Fair. Oh. I mean, I had to.
To go from renting a car to this.
Yeah, I know. It gave you whiplash. I'm aware. So in total, I think 30 seconds we see of Anthony and Giuseppe in this episode. Giuseppe has come to the rescue. Him and his large baguette have put on the jumpsuit and are sidling up to sell some bread. Giuseppe taking one for the team. Lieutenant Mortadella reporting for duty. I thought this was sweet.
Yeah.
They managed to tie up this plot line. We've literally had exactly 3 beats. We had Anthony thinking that the bakery is not going to do well. Him telling Giuseppe, you need to get your penis and come sell bread. And then he does it. The end.
And also, I'm thinking again, Anthony, you should be partnering up with bachelorettes because this is where, like, you could make penis-shaped bread. The girls come in, they make a TikTok, it goes viral. You're catering to the wrong audience is what the issue is.
Yeah, make a penis-shaped sourdough. People would love that. Are you kidding? Now, Sema and Carrie are driving because Sema has a current license because she, I guess, checks her mail and reads her notices. Sema, we don't know yet that Sema is about to cause a huge problem, but we see signs of it because she rolls over this thing. It makes a very loud noise. We even get a caption that the tires have thumped. We see the sign, warning, do not back up. And as soon as we see that, we're like, oh, this is about to be a total disaster. And we don't get to see the disaster yet because we get a very sweet, if crazy privileged moment of Charlotte's friend Alexis, who originally hooked her up with the Adderall in the beginning of the episode, is like, hey, Charlotte, you have a cool life and a cool job, and this is amazing, and you should not feel bad about yourself. Now here's my checkbook. I'd like to buy some incredibly expensive art. You know, it was a nice little full circle moment of Charlotte realizing, like, maybe among younger people, I don't feel like I'm at my, like, coolest and hippest, but, like, it feels really good to be validated that, like, yeah, I'm doing a good job. Now we have the girls standing stranded, waiting to get picked up. Carrie is wearing the same dress 2 days in a row. That is the dress that she traveled in because she packed so light. I have definitely done this on trips. It's just not something I would expect Carrie Bradshaw to do. Like,
no. And somehow in between all of this, they made it to Arby's.
Yeah. Sema takes the sign as a literal sign, like, don't go backwards in your career. So she's going to do her own thing. We're excited about that. And then, of course, Aiden pulls up in his truck and makes a joke about he's a goober, a hillbilly uber. And once again, I'm like, why all the fuss about this man? He's kind of lame.
I feel like he probably read Hillbilly Elegy on purpose and thought it was a good book.
Oh, no. So Aiden picks them up, and what a surprise. He asks Carrie to stay over. And I thought it was kind of obnoxious for Carrie to be like, hey, Sema, guess what?
I know.
You know, Carrie, like, you could have just talked to him. You could have just texted him and been like, hey, I'm going to be in Virginia. Is it weird if I stay over?
Right. Like, girl, what more for yourself? This is just, it's embarrassing. Where is the Carrie Bradshaw we love? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. And Aiden also was like, it was clear in the scene that he recognized, like, her wheels are spinning too much, because he's like, why wouldn't you just stay over? That being said, they get back to his family compound, and he's like, you got to stay in the guest house. Which, like, the explanation he gave made sense, but I was like, Your face seems to be indicating that you feel something about this.
Oh, yeah. I thought this was absolutely crazy. This is when I would, if I wouldn't have even gone to Williamsburg, but at this point you need to turn around, get on the next flight back to New York, because this is crazy. Like, that we are making all these concessions again for Wyatt, this fictional child at this point. I mean, again, I haven't seen hide nor tail of him, but we're making all of these concessions for this kid, and Carrie has to feel like she's tucked away in a cupboard, and it's so... This is Carrie freaking Bradshaw, and you're putting her in the guest house?
Yeah, like
Nobody puts Carrie in a guest house. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Nobody puts Carrie in a guest house.
Nobody puts Carrie in a guest house. I mean, I would definitely stay in that guest house. It looked nice. It was weird that he asked her to stay, and then as soon as they pull up, he's like, okay, here's the deal. I didn't tell my kids, and I'm not going to tell them tonight. So here's the guest house. He also had a weird response to the Adderall, which I'm sure we'll hear more about. I couldn't tell if he felt like Kathy had overstepped by asking Carrie, or in a more sinister way, maybe he like doesn't believe in drugs for ADHD. Like I don't know. I don't know if like Aiden's like full. I don't want to call him like an anti-vaxxer, but I didn't know what that was about. Do you have any guesses about what that might be about?
I was thinking, is it like something that's like a fight between him and Kathy was what I sort of was like getting the vibe. It's like something about that, like Kathy meddled and like talked to Carrie without telling him was sort of my guess. Also, this is so much baggage for Carrie that like, why would you want to stay involved in this? This is a lot of work, and you could throw a penny in New York and you could find a dick on every corner. Like, why are we going to Williamsburg, Virginia?
Nobody needs to go to Williamsburg, Virginia.
No.
Nobody. I'm sorry to the people of Williamsburg, Virginia.
It's lovely.
In your bonnets, churning your butter.
Again, I love that theme park. I love Williamsburg, Virginia. You have Wawa. But, like, she doesn't need to leave the island of Manhattan for dick.
No, she does not. And this is very complicated dick. Like, this dick comes with a lot of extra features that nobody asked for. So Carrie's tucked away in her cozy little guest house, and she is pulling out her laptop and writing her novel. And I had to take a screenshot of this because,
I know,
albeit dispossessed of her nightgown and carpet bag. Okay, Carrie Brontë. Like, what the hell?
In her own little guest house, in her own little bed.
I can write whatever I want to write, even if it's garbage. All of the, like, writing segments they give her for this novel are, like, so writerly in, like, a bad way, because she's never actually saying anything. She's like, she only had for company her covers that she pulled up around her while she felt nervous. Like, there's never anything actually happening. It's just, like...
It's all exposition.
That's the word for it. It's exposition. That's what it is. That was the episode. Overall, other thoughts.
I mean, We made it through another week. I'm upset knowing we have another week in Virginia. I really was hoping this was going to be a one and done. And unfortunately, they are forcing me to stay in Williamsburg. No, we're not in Williamsburg. We're in Norfolk. Like, why am I being stuck in Norfolk? Like, for 2 episodes. This isn't Paris. This is Norfolk, Virginia.
Would you be happier if they were somewhere in your home state of North Carolina?
No, I want Carrie in New York or Paris. Like,
Yeah.
this is beneath Carrie Bradshaw.
I mean, again, it does feel like we're recycling because we've already done Carrie attempts to do country. And we know from the episode preview that she's going to be like riding an ATV in some borrowed comfortable clothing because she didn't pack anything because she's out of her mind.
Well, did she ever get the bags back? Because they were in the back of the rental car.
Yeah, but she also didn't pack anything because she wore the same outfit 2 days in a row.
And also, Kathy isn't letting her borrow any clothes at this point.
Kathy, who asked for Adderall to be smuggled, can't lend her a top.
State lines. I know.
Can't give her some jorts. This episode didn't do a lot for me because, like, not a whole lot happened in it. I would say Charlotte's plotline was the most entertaining to me. I think they just know what to do with Charlotte, and it's very clear they have no idea what to do with LTW, although it does seem like her new thing is that her editor is a hot guy.
It's like, great, fine. And also, I think because she's been working on this since season 1, we didn't even see her at the beginning of the inception of this documentary. So you're having to trust your audience to think we care a lot about this piece of art that she's. I want to, I absolutely do, but it's like, where is this going? We keep talking about this documentary, and it's not a character in the scene.
Spoken like someone who graduated from the Second City Conservatory.
And I got the t-shirt to show for it.
Yep. A t-shirt and thousands of dollars less in my bank account to show for it.
And hours of therapy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, listening, however you are consuming. We will be back with a recap of the 4th episode of the 3rd season of And Just Like That. And just like that, I feel even less strongly about Aiden than I already felt. Like, I am ready for him to be out of the picture.
Yeah, I'd rather Carrie be sleeping with Ryan Serhant. Like, what are we doing?